Hello, and welcome to my 5-minute Choso Death Painting deck breakdown. This card is a proxy alt art version of Anji Falconwrath that I made using Card Conjurer. For folks that haven't watched the anime Jujutsu Kaisen, this is Choso. Choso is an incarnated curse room death painting, which are embryos created when a cursed spirit daddy loves a human mommy very, very much. He is half spirit, half human, and has all the firepower of the cursed spirit half inside a flesh and blood human body. He's kind of similar to Blade from the Blade series. Choso is a master of blood manipulation. As the name implies, this is a technique where the user weaponizes his own blood in order to use them as projectiles, blades, and even shrapnel artillery. Normally, a blood manipulator's arsenal is limited to the liters inside his body, but being a death painting, Choso possesses the ability to turn his curse energy into blood. With this ability, he can continue to create his arsenal without ever running out, sometimes sending waves of blood at his opponents. In order to capture the full power of Choso, we need to represent blood manipulation in card form. We need some way to showcase his cursed painting ability to have near limitless ammunition against his opponent. Finally, we need to make sure his color identity fits in with his fiendish half-human spirit nature. Before we move ahead, if you're enjoying the video so far, please like and subscribe. The card that best captures the third death painting himself is Anji Falconwrath. Anji is a 3-mana Rakdos vampire with the ability Haste, tap, discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Anji Falconwrath. For the Magic players watching this video, this might confuse some of you. Choso's whole deal is blood manipulation, so the logical choice would be commanders that generate blood tokens. These tokens are artifacts which allow you to tap them by paying 1 mana, sacrificing the token to discard a card and draw a card. It's a vampire thematic artifact, and there are a few commanders who synergize with blood token generation, either by generating tokens after combat damage to a player, or generating tokens when creatures enter or leave. I could have run Jaws, Relentless Predator, Strafon, or even the other Anji in this deck as Choso, but here's one big problem with that plan. Blood tokens are really bad. Unlike clues, treasures, or heck even food, blood tokens have literally no support. Searching Scryfall, I can count 38 cards that mention blood tokens, a pitifully low number considering this would be further subdivided into discard synergy or artifact synergy. Paying 1 to sack and cycle a card doesn't feel as impactful as just drawing a new card, gaining 3 life, or gaining free mana. Plus, if I ran a blood token themed deck, it would feel too similar to the clue generation strategy that I pursued with my Higuruma deck last week. Thus, we went with Anji Falconwrath, who basically has the same effect as a blood token on a hasty 3 mana permanent. I want your eyes on this second part of Anji's effect. If the card discarded has madness, untap Anji. Anji can allow us to cycle through our entire deck as long as the cards being discarded have madness. We don't need to spend mana on their madness effects. This technicality is what we based our entire deck around. There are more than 15 madness cards in this deck. For people unaware, madness is an ability which allows us to cast a card for its madness cost whenever it's discarded. Since Choso's main ability prompts us to discard then draw, we'll be triggering the madness effects multiple times a turn. This cost reduction is insane for some cards. Here are some examples. Big Game Hunter is normally a 3-cost assassin that allows us to destroy a big power creature when it enters the battle. Its madness cost is a single black pip, which is not required for us to continue cycling with Choso. If we spy a big threat on the board, while cycling we can choose to use the madness effect in order to plop down the hunter and take the threat out. This same logic applies to these damaging instants as well, allowing us to ping our opponent's weak creatures. Or how about just destroying a target non-black creature outright with Dark Withering, a 5 mana cost reduction with madness. If we were to go with the 15 or so madness cards in this deck, there is a possibility we might run out of cards to loop Choso over and over. However, there exists a way to potentially double the number of madness discards we have access to. Introducing Falconwrath Gorger. This 1 mana vampire berserker gives each vampire creature card that isn't on the battlefield madness. With 14 vampire creatures in the deck, as long as we have Gorger on the field, we can discard them all in order to keep the card draw engine going. And speaking of vampires, a lot of these cards are huge game-breaking threats. Bloodsworn Squire allows us to pay 2 to discard a card in order to grant them indestructible. Plus, if there are more than 4 creatures in my graveyard, the Squire can transform into Bloodsworn Knight. Knight's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures in my graveyard, and he still has access to the discard-based protection found in Squire. Or how about Eora, Insatiable Air? Trample. Whenever this card enters or deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Whenever I discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Eora. Blood Crazed Paladin can flash in and get +1/+1 counters on it for each creature that died. Okay, so you've seen how we start the engine, how we feed the engine, and how we lubricate the engine. What is the final payoff? There are several directions we can take our win con with Choso's blood manipulation loop. We could ping our opponents with cards such as Magmakin and Glinthorn Buccaneer, and I want you guys to see that it's for each opponent. If we have the engine in place and these cards on field, we could potentially kill all 3 players in a single turn. Token Swarm is another option. Cryptcaller Chariot is a 4-mana vehicle with the effect whenever you discard 1 or more cards, create that many tap 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. With infinite zombies, blocking is impossible, and since Cryptcaller is not a creature unless crewed, it will avoid any attempts from my opponents to nuke the board. Finally, our opponent is expecting us to play cards like Necrogoyf and Mortivore, whose power and toughness aligns with dead creatures in all graveyards. But if someone has their pants down, we can use Choso himself to strike the finishing blow. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Voltron. Simply play Grave Strength, a 2-mana sorcery that puts +1/+1 counters on a target creature for each creature in our graveyard. This, along with Madness Reduced battle tricks like Distemper of the Blood and Abandoned Reason, can activate Choso's Flowing Red Scale, buffing him to insane levels, giving him Trample and First Strike to swing for a commander damage victory. So, do you think this deck captured the essence of Choso? Are there any cards you think would be better suited to make this deck work more effectively? Let me know. Also, thank you for watching this video. What should the next Jujutsu Kaisen character be that I cover? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned, more to come.